Hello everyone. So I've been working on a little project here with some playing cards. So many of you will have seen these before, where you take playing cards and then you age them to make them look vintage like this here. So these ones here were actually, I put some book pages on them, and then I just decoupaged tea bags, old used tea bags on top of them to get that look. So that turned out quite nice. These ones here I actually I decoupaged napkins on after putting the book pages on them. Rather than a vintage look, I was hoping to put these in like my little gardening journals and stuff like that, so, or flower themed journals. So that's what I did for these ones. I'll still finish the edges and probably add more stuff to them. And then these ones here just have tissue paper on them, and I'm going to coffee stain the tissue paper. So I'm trying a bunch of different, like a few different methods that I had seen from watching videos and everything, and just to see which one I happen to like the best. So that's what those are. But what I wanted to show you guys was I decided to try a few different types of paper and just see what types of paper made the nicest or worked best for the background. So these ones here, the original ones that I did, I used thin dictionary pages. So these are from an old dictionary of mine that I have ripped apart. And I'll just show you here. So the pages from these ones are really flimsy. Very, very thin pages in the dictionary. And what I liked about those when I ripped them off, like I glued the card down, I put glue stick on parts of the card, and then I glued it down on top of the page. And then when I ripped it off, what I liked about those ones is that it really left, even when you ripped the top part off, you could really see, because it was thin, you could really see the back part, the words from the back through it. So it just had an extra kind of neat effect. Like this one here, when I put this one on here, this picture was actually on the side of the dictionary paper that I glued down on here, but when I ripped it off, the other side kind of came off, and that's what was left showing through. So I really like those dictionary pages, so that's cool. So what I have here, this is a piece of tea-dyed computer paper. So I had these some photocopies of old flute music from when I played the flute. And so I had printed those out and I tea-dyed those. So that's what that is. That's tea-dyed computer paper. These ones here are a relatively thin, cheap paper it's just from a book that I wasn't going to read again. And, but you can see it's quite thin paper, and it's a little bit colored. So, I thought I would try those. So I've got a couple of those, a few of those. This one here is quite a bit of a thicker paper, as you can hear. It's quite a bit thicker paper, and it's more white. So I'm curious as to see how that thicker paper will work for that. This is from a Reader's Digest condensed book. So it's again that kind of cheaper paper. It's a bit of a different color. But it's kind of thinner paper. It's not quite as thin as this paper, but it's fairly thin. And then these ones here are from an old romance novel that I'm never going to read. So I just ripped it up to use. So it's again kind of thin, a little bit cheaper paper because it's a mass market book. And then these ones are a little bit thicker again, as you can see. This is from a Dutch book that I had when I was trying to learn other languages, and I decided that I was never going to be able to focus enough to learn that many languages, so I decided to use the book. So it was just a novel. But you can see it's quite a bit thicker paper. So I'm just going to rip these apart, and we will see which ones make the nicest background. So Okay, coming back now to look at these. Number one thing, this computer paper was way too thick. As you can see, I'd glued it on this side, hoping that some of this would show through or would stay on. But when I ripped it off, all I got was this little extra layer. So I might try that one again, but glue it down on this side and see if I can get some of this to stick in the future. But that computer paper is quite thick. The other problem I think that I'm going to find is if the paper is one-sided, it's not going to produce as nice of a thing on the card. The thing with these dictionary pages is that they were of course two-sided and relatively thin, so when it ripped off, if the top part ripped off, the bottom part was still showing through, whereas here it didn't. It only ripped that back layer off. So that's that one. So I probably will have to redo that card. Let's see. These ones were that really thick white paper that I had. They didn't turn out too bad. So you can definitely see the words through the paper. Again, I think what I'm finding is that whichever side you have actually glued down on it, so like here, this side was glued down on it, the words from this side are what you're seeing, like that's the side that's actually glued on it, rather than the words that are on top. So if I glue down one that doesn't have much on the back, and I glue it down like this, and then I rip it off, I'm not going to have much on here. Whereas, you know, and that's what happened with that music page. But this one didn't turn out too bad for word-wise. So that's that one. These ones, this was the Reader's Digest condensed book. Those turned out quite good. And I think, again, it's because it's a thinner, kind of cheaper paper. And I think what I'm going to find is that thinner, cheaper paper sticks best to the card. That actually wasn't bad at all for getting some words on. So that thinner, cheaper paper might work quite nice. So this was from that book that had kind of the thin pages, again, that were a slightly different color. And it worked not too bad. The only thing that I don't care for about this one that I'm finding is a little bit different is the words are, the spacing is quite a bit larger than, say for example, like this one here, there's more words per square inch, which I think makes it look prettier when you have more words showing through. That's why I like the dictionary pages, because the writing is so small, and so the words, you can really see that it's a book page, and I don't know, I just like that better. These ones were from this thick-paged Dutch novel, and it actually didn't do too bad. The one thing that I'm finding a little bit too is with the thicker pages, they don't glue down as well. So because I had put glue all the way up to this corner here, and none of the page stayed on that corner when I ripped it off. Again, here I had a little more glue there and none of the page stayed on there, whereas with like the dictionary pages and these cheaper pages, the glue held better on them. Like this this one here with where it was that really thick paper, some of them, like here, there was a spot there where I had glue to try and get a little bit up at the top, and it really didn't pick up any of the paper at all. So I definitely don't think I would use that thicker paper. And last but not least, the romance novel. So again here, this worked not too bad because it was cheaper paper. Yeah, it didn't hold real well though. I don't know if the paper is too cheap in those, because it, like, instead of having, like, I had glued this whole area here, and instead of having words on the whole area, it only picked up a few of them. So again, I don't think I would necessarily use that. So I would say probably my favorite ones to use, the best ones to use, are, number one would be the dictionary pages. I think those look the prettiest. And then I would probably go with something like the Reader's Digest condensed book, because it has, like I say, it has more words per square inch, which is nice, as well as it stuck fairly well. But I definitely think these dictionary pages make the prettiest words for the background. So yeah, I hope that helped you, and give it a try yourself. Again, yeah, see, this is that Reader's Digest condensed book, and it definitely left more on there. Same thing with that one than some of these thicker papers. Okay, everybody, I'm just coming back to do one more thing. So before I went for supper, I went ahead and I glued this piece onto the other side of that music paper to try it. And then I actually did glue some onto one of the dictionary pages, so I can just quickly show you the difference there. So let's go ahead and pull this one off. Ah, see, that worked way better. That looks really cool. I might have to make a few more like that. But yeah, so basically, as long as you have the side that you want to show through attached to your card. So I had to put it with the card on, actually pointed onto the music side. And then that had that come through. That actually looks pretty neat. I might try a few more like that now that I know how to do it. And then the dictionary pages are very similar in that you start pulling them off. And like I said, the thing I like about these dictionary pages is, for one thing, they stick really well to the glue. And then they're thin, so even when a piece like this here, this is the side that was pointed out. This stuff here is the side that was pointed in, and it's just sitting down there on the bottom and looks normal. Like it looks like you can actually see it still. So that makes, and the other thing I like about the dictionary pages is the size of the font, because you get more words per square inch, and I like the look of that a little bit better because it's smaller font, so you're getting more words on your paper. Just kind of has a different look to it. Yeah. So yeah, so that's those ones. So these are the different styles I got. So that's the dictionary pages. This is the music sheet when you put it on the right way. And then I've got some of these ones with the other various types of paper. But like I said, the thinner paper seems to work better. It just, it sticks better, for one thing. Because like one like this here, I mean, really, that's not much for words on there, because it just didn't stick everywhere. Like here too, like this whole area was covered with glue and only that little bit stuck. So I definitely have to say I prefer the thinner papers like this. And yeah, I do like that music page now. I'm definitely going to do a few more with that and just add that extra little element to it. So I hope that helped you with some ideas for what kind of pages you want to use when you do your cards.